You would definitely handle it better than me. If I saw my kid getting bullied or whatever, I'm going to punch the parent. I'm like, yo, what the f are you doing, bro?
Welcome to The Worst Asian Podcast, where a couple Asian American millennials give you our shitty opinions on all things Asian. We're back. My name is Linji. I'm here with my co-host, Ben.
Hey.
How you doing today, Ben?
Hey. I'm hurting.
You hurting?
I'm hurting.
What happened?
Did a little partying on Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
And we're at the age where we just can't. We need more recovery.
Partying and not partaking.
Partaking into partying. That's what I was doing. So
we're getting too old for that shit.
Oh, I know. I feel a little disgusting.
You feel like a boomer? What is a boomer?
A boomer?
Because the term gets thrown around so much that I know it's just referring to old people or people that feel old.
Right.
But we're not boomers. We're still millennials.
No, we're still the millennials. I feel like we don't deserve the word millennial. It just sounds too fresh and new.
Does it?
I'm like, I don't feel fresh and new.
Well, you're definitely not Gen Z, because when I hear Gen Z and Gen Y, that is what makes me feel like a boomer.
Shout out to the Gen Zers and the Gen Yers. If you're listening, thank you so much.
What the hell are you doing listening to a podcast? Gen Zers don't listen to podcasts. I don't think they do. I got some good news for you, Ben. Mm-hmm. Stuff that might make you feel a little bit better. I'm not so tired.
Oh, man. Thank you for the coffee, by the way.
So BTS took over the music world.
Yeah.
Parasite took over Hollywood.
Yeah.
Squid Game took over streaming.
Okay.
What's left to conquer? Where does that Korean pride need to extend out into?
Let's see. We took over
children's entertainment.
Oh my God. Oh, I know where you're going with this.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sesame Street.
Yeah, man.
The universal kid-friendly show is now going to cast their first Asian American character.
Yes, they are.
And you guys won the lottery.
Yes, I know.
She's Korean American.
Yeah, I was honored. I was like, wow.
Did you see her name?
Fuck, I didn't.
It's not like Sarah Kim or like Angela Park. Shout out to all the Sarah Kims and Angela Parks out there.
I feel like we know an Angela Park.
But they gave her a more traditional name, Ji Young.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Props to them.
Yo, thank you.
Props to them for not just going with the standard Sarah Kim.
So also, I noticed is she's kind of like, her thing is she likes the guitar. Like, she's like a rock star.
She does, and you kind of used to play the guitar, so she's
really
like,
terribly.
She's like your spirit Muppet character.
Yeah, man. Sesame Street, thank you so much, man. I saw the same thing. I was like, what?
I saw a interview, and they were actually saying that part of the reason why she came out now was actually in direct response to the whole rise in Asian hate crimes here in the U.S.
Yeah.
And that kind of inspired them to go down this route and hopefully have a character that can, educate younger people.
I guess. Is it weird to say like humanize Asians? Is that a weird way to put it? That sounds so like dark.
It's all in good spirits, right? I'm not trying to shit on Sesame Street.
We gotta remember it's a puppet. Yeah, it's still a puppet.
It's a couple years too late for my son, unfortunately. Yeah, he's past that phase.
If it's on though, you should point like, oh look, that's your friend.
Maybe. All right, speaking of Asian parents, topic for this week, Asian parenting styles.
Oof.
And why it may or may not be the best parenting style.
PTSD. Let's do it.
Okay, Ben. You're Asian. I'm Asian. We grew up with Asian parents.
Do we? Yes. Are you sure? Yes.
Without getting too detailed, how did your parents raise you?
Whoa.
Well, the end result was not very good, but how did they try to raise you?
Man, that's a great question. Their philosophy, I guess, if you want to say. I don't know. It's like my dad was super strict on.
Was there a difference
things.
between styles between your mother and your father?
My mom was, dude, she was like the sweetest like person. Like, she just let me do whatever I wanted.
Yeah, your mom is great.
Yeah. I know I was spoiled. I didn't realize it as I got older. I was like, oh man, I'm very fortunate. I feel like I got to live a childhood like you see in the movies, like got to play. I grew up with you and like other friends,
That was the best part of your childhood.
Wow, this guy's like, Ben discovered, he discovered life when he met me. But wow, it's like this is like a tribute, like on the spot now. So I'm trying to do a tribute on the spot for my mom.
We're gonna cut this snippet and just send it to your mom.
Yeah.
I'll put the Korean translations at the bottom.
First of all, let's just say, we love our parents.
We do.
Yeah, they do an amazing job. It's fucking hard being a parent. You would know. You can definitely attest to that.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, it terrifies me. I think at my age now, they weren't the best. And I remember when I was younger, I was a lot more ignorant. You know, sometimes I would argue, especially with my dad, like, oh, why didn't you do this? Why couldn't you do that? You know, as I got older, you know, he would be like, you don't think I didn't try? You know, it's not that easy. Like, there was one argument I had with him. I was like, why couldn't you like learn English?
You said it to him?
I said that to him, man.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, I'm like, and now like as I got older, I was like, my God, I'm such a dick.
Yeah.
It took years for me to address that to him because I was thinking, man, like that probably hurt him a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Look, I think the worst thing you can do is comparing your life to others. I think it's all about perspective. You definitely always try to keep me in check about that kind of stuff. Have a roof over our head, have food, be healthy.
That's all you really need from life.
Right, exactly. In the end of the day, they really did try their best. They're not going to be the best, but as long as they're trying their best, you know what? I can rock with that.
100%.
Yeah, my mom, super sweetheart, but I think I wish she was a little more disciplined.
She was too relaxed, right?
She was too relaxed.
She was very hands off with you.
Man, like she told me stories like when we go to church, she'll take me to church. I was so loud. And all I was doing was playing with my brother. And my mom was like hitting me. And then I was like, oh my God, I remember that. But I forgot. I was like, oh my God, I'm such a dickhead.
It's always bad when we look back at when we were kids and like, holy shit, I was such a dick.
Yeah, I was like,
I think every person has that.
Yeah.
And if you don't have that, you just haven't realized yet that you are a dick.
Yeah, I hope you do hit that point.
But your dad was different though.
My dad,
your dad was different from the outside looking in.
I always say this, you heard it with me. If anyone has met my dad, he's like the coolest dude. You know, like the bro.
100%. He's like, you could be his friend.
Yeah.
Minus the smoking, I could be his friend.
We can have a beer with him right now if he was here.
Yeah.
Really cool guy. But as a father, he sucked. You know? Took a long time for us to like kind of address that. Now our relationship's a lot better. I'm at a point where I just see things for what it is.
Yeah.
You know?
You're not trying to proactively change them.
Right, exactly. That's the biggest thing. Expectations and all that stuff. And it brought us closer. We're at that point where I think after you hit 30, I mean, maybe for you hit it a lot faster, but as soon as I hit 30, all of a sudden my perspective changed. Like I was like, oh my God.
It's like overnight.
Overnight. I was like, man, I'm old. Like, yo, fucking grow up. I'm still a work in progress. You know, Dad, you're the man. Sorry, my bad. All those times. My bad. I get it now. I get it. It's fucking hard.
What's going to happen is it's like karma.
Yeah.
Just wait till you have a kid.
Yo.
Your kid's going to hit back twice as hard.
I'm going to be like the most devout Catholic in the world. I'm going to be like a monk.
Praying for hope and salvation.
Yeah, man. But I know with you, this is definitely like a really good topic because I think you have parents, right?
Last I checked, yeah. I came from somewhere.
Somewhere, exactly.
Somewhere. Someone's womb.
And now, you know, you are a parent.
Yeah.
So
karma.
Karma.
Real karma.
You're doing a good job, dude.
I think my parents were probably the medium point between both of your parents. I swear my dad was probably like your mom, super laid back. He cared, obviously. He cared in his way, but he was just...
I felt like he was super level-headed.
He's like, you do you. I never got a lot of praise from him, but I also never got a lot of... what's the opposite of praise? Shit talking?
Beef, hate, yeah.
Yeah.
A hater.
He wasn't a hater when I was a kid.
Exactly.
So he was like very much in the middle. My mom, I could tell she always proactively tried to do the best that she could to make me a better kid. But at the same time, she was not very...
effective?
I'm sure in some ways she was effective, right? My mom was not what you would call a tiger mom.
Okay.
But she did like try her best to instill those things onto me.
Like responsibilities?
Yeah, exactly. And in our household, it wasn't like I had fear of my parents. We weren't the traditional first generation household or maybe even overseas Asian household who like beat their kids. To my parents' credit, the most I got was like maybe an ear twist. Like they would take my ear and just twist it.
That's it?
Yeah, that's like the most I got.
God, you're so spoiled.
Is that why you had those bruises and black eyes, Ben?
Yeah. So it's all that military. Damn, dude.
Yeah, so it was a very laid back household. But I tell this to everyone.
Uh-huh.
As a parent and having other friends that have kids too, like people try to tell you how to raise a kid. This is the right way. This is not the right way. And none of it fucking matters because every kid is different. Every parenting technique is different. There is no universal rule for how to raise a good kid, right? This is a pet peeve that I have, by the way. Like when parents try to give parenting advice to each other, you'll face this eventually, but it's like a big pet peeve. Like, I get it.
I can see
My
that.
kid is not your kid, though. My parenting
Right.
style is not your parenting style. Like, I don't need you to tell me that you should.
I don't want to.
Oh, to my wife, this is not for you. You can tell me to do whatever I want. So, like, you can criticize me as much as you want. But
That's
it's
a
like
good man. That's a good man.
to other parents, like, it's a big pet peeve that I have. Don't tell me what to do with my kid. If I'm doing it like shit,
Right.
unless I'm beating my kid and it's like domestic violence.
Don't tell me how to beat my kid. All right. I know how to do this shit. All right. What about like for all us minorities, right? I think we can all say universally we've gotten our ass kicked, right?
Maybe
So-
90% of them. Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, definitely first geners, like we said. Definitely people overseas.
And, I always think like, is there certain thresholds? Like, I'm just gonna slap him. That's it. Just one time. I don't know. Like you said, all kids are different, and I've seen your kid play with other kids. I love him, sweet ass kid. But then I see other kids kind of, being a dickhead.
Yeah.
And I even want to be like, yo, I just want to put his head down, just be like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And I see you, I'm like, oh, and she's pissed. Damn, and then I see your wife. Dude, when your wife gets pissed, oh man, like I'm scared. Yeah, man, I'm like legit scared. I'm like, oh shit. So I totally agree with you about that. It's hard. That kid can affect your kid in a negative manner.
Yeah. Even that's like a tough thing because like
Yeah.
I say that I don't like receiving parenting advice and I very much try my best not to reciprocate that pet peeve to other people.
You do a good job about that. You would definitely handle it better than me. If I saw my kid getting bullied or whatever, I'm gonna punch the parent. I'm gonna be like, yo, what the fuck are you doing, bro? Yo, get this kid out of here.
Punch first.
I would punch the kid, grab him, and just throw him back to the parent. I think this is yours. Thank you so much.
It's better to ask for forgiveness than to ask for permission first.
Exactly. There you go.
Do the punching, then
There you
figure
go.
out later.
That's the universal rule right there. That's the universal rule. By the way, please, I'm just joking. I feel like people are like, oh my God.
Why is he condoning violence?
I know, my God.
Unsubscribe.
Yeah.
Did your parents ever have the sex talk with you? Birds and the bees?
Yeah.
That is weird because you're probably one of the few Asian people that I've asked this to that have actually said yes to their parents having that talk with them. I think most Asian parents are just, you know what? We won't talk about this. She will either figure out himself or he'll get old enough and somebody else will tell him about it. That's not our business.
That's how your parents were doing it?
That's how my parents did it. Let me guess, your dad had that talk with you.
Yeah, a lot. Too many times, like over dinner with like my mom's there. I'm grossed out. Maybe this is his way of trying to get me to like stop eating, like so I lose my appetite or something, And my mom would just like, she'll lose her shit. She'll be like, oh my God, what are you doing? Like, what's wrong with you? She'll like slap my dad. He's like, what? He's a man, and I'm a man. He has a penis. I'm like, oh God, Dad, stop telling that to mom. Like, this is really weird, No filter on this guy.
That's actually kind of cool though.
Yeah. All right.
You didn't have to learn about sex from some random VHS that was in the dumpster. Not saying that's how I learned.
Oh man, that sounded very specific. Very, very specific, by the way. Just
You should be glad that your dad was able to talk with you about that stuff.
yeah.
I don't think it matters nowadays because kids probably pick up what sex is when, like they're on Instagram or TikTok.
Oh man, that's
But back then, they probably mattered more that
oh
your
my
parents
God,
had
dude!
that
I
talk.
just realized you're gonna have to do that. I mean, maybe. Do you ever think about like, oh my God, what if I have to have the sex talk?
www.pornhub.com. Gonna create a user account for my son. Do they have user accounts?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, they do.
Okay,
they
fine.
do. I'm acting like I don't know. I know.
Yeah,
They
you
do.
know.
They do. They do. Like, imagine like make a playlist for him. It's like, son, I made you a playlist for you. Okay. Now go have some fun. All right. I'll see you at dinner. Like that kind of shit.
Here's some tissues. Here's some lotion. I'm not gonna open the door. So we touched on it slightly. What is the stereotypical Asian parenting style?
Because we did like a 1,000 survey. Like we worked with the census about this.
We asked every type of Asian.
We went to San Francisco. We went to New York.
Houston, Texas.
Oh, thank God! I was like, oh shit, I don't know shit.
Seattle, Washington.
Georgia, right?
Toronto, Canada.
Gang, right there, perfect.
Melbourne, Australia.
Oh damn, you're really
I'm
good at
just trying
this.
to think of all the Asian.
Yeah, I was gonna be like, oh fuck it, South Korea. I don't know at this point. The UK, I don't know. Like, so you said the question was, what is like the universal style?
Stereotypical.
Stereotypical. Oh, it just sounds like we're talking about like kung fu now. Like, what's your kung fu?
What is a tiger parent?
Yeah,
Do you kind of not get that term, or have you never heard that term?
I never heard of that.
That's a bit surprising.
Tiger parent.
It's usually used for Asian parents, but it's a style of parenting where you're just super strict with your kid. very disciplinary. You're very like, take your SAT study book to bed with you. That's your bedtime story. That's like a tiger parent. Wanting too much for your kid in terms of his education.
So like no love and feelings. It's like no study.
It's just study.
Like fuck your feelings. Okay, then
Eat,
yes.
study, sleep.
I didn't know that was actually a
It's
term.
like a tiger parent thing.
Is that an Asian term or is that like a universal?
Dude, I don't even know. It's just part of my my lingo, my dictionary.
I was just like, is that like Tiger King or some shit?
No, because my wife calls me a tiger dad.
Oh yeah, I could kind of see it. I can see where you transform into the tiger, like Tony the Tiger, but like you're like Linji. I see it.
Asian parents, typically speaking, are very disciplinary.
Yes,
and tend to take that maybe a step towards violence.
Yeah, for sure.
First of all, there's a very fine line between violence and disciplining your kid.
Oh, okay.
Asian parents always tippy-toe on that line very, very delicately.
I mean, I think parents in general, right? Yeah,
but
I see what you mean.
Definitely in Eastern culture, it's acceptable to discipline your kid physically.
Yes.
We're not talking about giving your kid a black eye, obviously. Please.
Right, yeah, don't
fucking do that.
Yeah, you got to hit them where they can't see it. Don't have the evidence visible.
I still don't know if that's okay to say. But there's a very fine line.
Man.
And we joke about it sometimes. My wife has at times said, you need to instill some fear into these kids.
Yo, you got to like punch a hole in your wall, bro, in front of him and be like...
There's no sense that like mom or dad's going to pick you up and throw you on the couch.
That's true. And every time like he does something like wrong, it's so funny because he just like looks at you. And he's just like laughing. I was like, he doesn't know. But I get what you're saying though.
You and I, like we said before, we didn't experience that much unless you've got stories about your parents that I personally haven't heard of. My parents never hit me. The most I got was like a twist in the ears.
Man, I'm just so jealous. I'm like, damn, I wish I got that instead. No, dude, my dad was like prototypical fucking Korean dad, like yelling. You'll be like, all right, pick whatever. Here are these choices. I'm going to use that.
Belt, stick, vacuum.
Yeah. I'm really thinking about it. I'm like, am I on the game show? All right, let's see. Okay, I think if I get the stick, it hits my butt, I think it'll be okay. It's going to sting. It's okay.
It's the winter. I can wear long pants. It's fine.
I remember like even some Korean teachers, oh my God, like it's all coming back to me, but their punishment, this is like them being teachers who grab a stick, you stick out your hand and they fucking whack you with it. Or they make you hold chairs in front of the class. Maybe that's why like I'm so strong. I don't know.
Original Squid Game?
Yeah, kind of, man. That's what they used to do.
Was this during Sunday school?
Sunday school. My parents put me in Korean school on Saturday.
To learn Korean?
And that was like the biggest waste of money in the world. It was, oh my God. See, there you go. I'm so sorry. Mom and Dad, I am so sorry.
That is how much they cared about you because your parents wasted money sending you to Korean school when money was a luxury.
God, I'm such a dick. I can vividly remember running out of class. And this was at my Catholic, my church. So there's nuns chasing me. And I'm laughing, like running with my brother. I'm also like with my brother. I'm being like a dickhead influence.
Holy shit. You never told me that.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Today's episode is just a big flood, a big tsunami of you, of you realizing how much of a dick you were as a kid.
God damn. Yeah, I'm going to get some flowers for my mom and dad or some shit. I got to get them dinner or something.
Yeah, post-pod, you got to take them out to like a nice steak
yeah,
dinner.
Man. My dad was the enforcer, but it was weird. Like what he was like so passionate about, it was kind of fucked up. He took it really personal about like body image. Like he couldn't stand, I'm sorry, I know it's 2021, but my dad, he came from here. So, he has different views and stuff. I'm not condoning because obviously, but he was like a fat hater. Yeah, dude, like he was.
Yo, this kind of makes sense because we have fat friends and he's not the biggest fan of our fat friends.
Yeah, right? That's the main beef he has.
I'm not saying I'm in the best shape, but I'm not.
Dude.
And your dad loves me.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why. Look at Linji. So skinny. Look at his fucking posture. I'm like, shit, man. Jesus Christ.
Look at his posture.
Yeah, I'm like, yo, give me a break, man. Like, geez, man. Like, I'm still going through puberty. I didn't understand this, but I get what he was saying. You got to be healthy. Because if you're not healthy when you're young, you're fucked when you're old. And he would always try to instill it on me. It makes sense.
Did that actually help, though? Dude, because you were still a fat kid.
Now I'm gaining the weight back, unfortunately. But
it was like a roller coaster because you had your fat period. You got kind of skinny. Now you're back on top of that weight scale.
Fuck, you're right. And I also hate the excuse of like, oh, you're tall, so you can't see it. And that makes me lazier. I'm like, yeah, you're right. I could keep eating.
Dude, just imagine if you were shorter, but you ate like how you ate now.
My God.
You'd be like very dense and compact.
Dude, I'll be like 48% body fat.
Oompa Loompa.
Oh, God. But going back to my dad, I understood what he was trying to preach, but his method was just so shitty. And as a kid, you're just more terrified and scared. You start feeling bad about yourself.
Yeah.
That's what it is. So
Agreed.
for some people, it can break you. But for me, I was able to, I'm not saying I fucking like killed it, but
You definitely haven't killed it in life.
not yet. Don't worry. 2045 will be my year. Yeah, there's some things I get it now. I'm like, okay, you're right. There are no excuses. You know, I can hear you saying the same thing. It's like, yo, just be a man.
And just be better.
It's just be
If you're not good, just get better. Universal rule.
Oh man. We gotta make that into a shirt.
The traditional Asian parenting style, where it is similar to what you had with your dad,
Right.
that would not work in the world right now. Or at the very least, that would not work with kids that are growing up here in the West. Because if I took your parenting style
Yeah, man.
that your dad had and I tried to apply that to my kid,
Bro, my dad would be like the devil.
and
He would be like on the front page of the New York Post.
anti-Santa Claus, whatever that is. One, second-gen kids in this country are by far more privileged. You know, they are more delicate because of that.
You
know, like-
kind of have to go with the times.
Right. And another part is also maybe those first-gen parents that were so hard on their kids that picked up the stick with the belt.
Right.
It's tough for them because they had so much other shit to go through.
Yeah, man.
Not to say that you should ever release your anger on your kids.
Right, that cycle.
Right. It's like a cyclical thing.
Right, exactly.
But I have a kid. I have far less to worry about. There's far less stress in my life that I feel the need to like beat my kid to get some sense to him. You and I were raised up differently in this country. We have a more Western style and we try to apply that and maybe mingle in some Asianness.
I think also it's because, unfortunately, for my side was going back to me, being a little oompa loompa, right? So I didn't know it, but my dad would constantly fight with my mom and my grandma at the time. Stop feeding him. He's not a turkey.
They were just each pointing the finger at each other.
Yeah, they're doing the Spider-Man shit. Like they're just
The
pointing at
Spider-Man
him.
meme.
He's too fat. It's like, he's not fat enough, like, and I'm just like, all right, I guess I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just going to eat. I understand both sides. Thank God I got it out. Don't worry.
You gotta stop eating.
I got this. Just leave me alone now. But clearly my mom and dad had different views on, their philosophy was on that one topic. I think with you and your wife, you guys have really good communication. For most part, I'm going to say like, you look like you got your shit together. All right?
You can't see this, but I'm giving Ben a very weird look right now.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm assuming.
yeah.
I don't think I need to beat my son. That's what I'm going back to, saying you and your wife can figure it out. It's like, okay, we can just try to like work this together and then it'll figure itself out eventually.
Yeah. A lot of older gen people that I've talked to, like, that was like choice number one. Your kid was bad. You didn't fucking try to talk sense into him. You try to beat sense into him. The default option. It's like if you're playing a game and the controls are all broken,
Yeah.
all you can do is press A to punch.
So was your mom more of like, it's like good cop, bad cop? Your dad was like good cop and your mom was bad cop.
If I had to, I would
Yeah.
say my mom was bad cop, my dad was good cop, but it's like
Yeah.
a super fine line. I will say that when my dad said something constructive, negative
Yeah.
towards me, I took that much more seriously. But they were both pretty hands off. It is what it is. I was a only child. I think that adds to part of it too. Only child, first gen, parents were working 12 hours a day,
Yes.
7 days a week. So I was left to my own accord. They were tired. They were busy.
Like, yo, we need to survive.
If Linji turns out like shit,
Yeah.
like it is what it is.
Whatever.
At least he'll have food on the table and then he can just be like a jackass inside the house. Not a jackass on the streets.
And that's, I don't, this is where we sound like a little old, but the current generation, right? People were kind of spoiled. They're hypersensitive. They don't know what it took to get to this point. I read something. It's like,
You read something?
it was like 4 lines, bro. Like, don't be too impressed. It was like 4 lines, and I can't remember right now. So I already fucked up. Hard times make hard men, and then hard times make good men, but then good men make fun men. Oh my God, I'm so bad at this. But pretty much what I was saying is like, go back to like, oh my God, I'm so bad. This is so embarrassing. Fuck. I truly believe that we're becoming more and more fucking entitled and sensitive
100%.
to the point where I'm like, do you not remember just how many fucking people had to die for us to get here? And it's just, I'm more upset at the men right now. There's more for like the men and shit. That's my mini rant right there. Come on, guys. You gotta do better. I was wondering, how important was like grades to your parents, like your grades to them?
Oh, 110% of what mattered as a kid.
That's all that mattered.
That's all that mattered. Asian parents want to For all this shit that we talk about, the main underlying point is that Asian parents really wanted you to succeed academically. Stereotypical things about Asian kids coming back with the A, and it's like, what the fuck is the A plus? You're like, and that comes from a place of actual fact, because you need to do good on your grades in order to succeed in life. And that was like the underlying point. There wasn't any of this become a YouTuber.
Right. Oh, he's going to be the greatest podcaster in the world.
The only factor that they could control was your grades. And wherever that took you, whether it was to a 6-figure, 7-figure, crypto billionaire, it didn't matter. But the grades were 110% the most important thing.
Yes.
So in my household, that was literally the only thing that mattered.
Yeah, man. Yo, you were really smart too.
No, I just got by. I just got by okay.
Man, this guy.
You know what you do? When you're not that smart, you just surround yourself with dumber people.
I'm pretty dumb, bro.
And by contrast, you seem like you're a lot smarter. Why do you think you're my co-host?
Oh, because I'm fucking smart as fuck. Imagine that's what we're both thinking. It's like, oh, I'm smarter than Lindsay. And Lindsay's like,
number one, you have a great voice. Number two, you're smart as hell. That's the only reason why we're here together. My parents were just about the grade. That's why I don't think they cared as much about my social life, my friend circle, my physical appearance like your dad did.
Right. They're like, you know what? If that works out, then everything else will just pan out.
So I think with Asian parents, you would probably say like that is fucking the most important thing.
You
Maybe
could
it's a
universally, like all Asians out there.
Where the fuck is that A plus, the A plus plus?
Oh man, dude.
Why'd you only get 100%? Why didn't you do the extracurricular and get the 110%?
For real, bro. Like,
it sounds like your parents didn't care about that.
Yeah, oddly, it was weird. It's like he did, but I feel like he was just doing it because like that's what all the other Asian parents were doing. Oh, I'm supposed to give a shit about education? All right, yo, give me that shit. Let me see. Oh, yo, what the? Wait, is A good or B good? I'll be like, oh, Dad, A. Oh, what the fuck?
You never felt that pressure to do better on your grades?
This is the weird thing. When I think about it, it's like, oh, he actually really didn't care. He did care, but he didn't push me to do it like that. The weirder part is like, it took me until now to realize that.
Dude, it took you like
a
decade plus out of school to realize that your grades mattered.
1/3 of my whole life. It like fucking perplexed me. His idea was, I believe that you're allowed to live your life. I think there's some things in life you should experience. That was kind of his motto about things. And that's why he has like all these great stories and stuff. But the thing about that is, as much as I love that, I do wish he instilled a little more drive in me or like discipline about it. How do you say it? But not violently as well, not like in a threat. He said like, yeah, I understand, get a good job, this and that, right? That's important. But at the same time, he always just said like, but always just remember to be a good person. Like these like moral lines. If you fuck up, just be honest. All right, that's the best policy. 2
things your dad cared about most: being a nice person,
yes,
and not being fat.
Yeah, man, he's a lean, mean machine, bro.
You're fat, no rice for you. In my household, it was like bad grades, no rice for you.
I also do think my dad, I think he just has like an anger problem. Now I'm thinking about it.
That's genetic, because you definitely have that.
Dude, I'm like way better. I'm like a fucking Buddha compared to this guy.
Are you kidding me?
Why?
Like now in your life?
Yeah, bro.
To our listeners to this that don't know us personally, Ben used to have a lot of posters in his wall, not because he liked certain rock bands, not because he was, way into certain movies. Ben used posters in his bedroom as a way of covering up the holes that he just punched in his drywall.
That was a dark time in my life. There was one time where I remember I picked up my brother, but we're just goofing around. I picked him up and I literally like threw him into the wall and he was stuck in the wall.
I think I remember.
Yeah, and then I stepped back and I was like, yo, get out. He was like, yo, I'm stuck.
We had to get the extra large posters, the ones that they use at the movie theaters.
I used posters that have like all the months on one sheet. That's what I used.
Those giant Asian calendars.
Yes. Yeah, like from like a supermarket or some shit. I can't believe my parents just let me like act like that.
Maybe you hid the holes really well with the posters.
They're so random posters, man.
You think you're ever going to do that with your own kids?
Oh, man. I do think about that. I'll be honest.
Hypothetically, can there be a point where your kids piss you off so much that you just instantly turn into your dad?
I don't think I would hit them, but I think I would have to like rage out.
Like punch more holes in your wall?
Yeah, I think so, man. Yeah.
Instill that fear?
Instill that dumbassness? Yes, I think so. That is one of my fears. The whole like anger thing. I'm sure like some men out there definitely like battle with that. Mm-hmm. I also know like Korean men definitely. I think our generation especially.
Yeah, Korean people are fucking angry.
I know, dude.
Why are you guys so angry? And it's not that you're just angry. You're
They all seem the same.
what's the term I'm trying to say? You're outwardly angry. You express your anger
right.
like manifest into like something tangible.
Right, that's the thing. Like, some people think I'm like, angry. I'm like, no, I'm just excited. And they're like, no, like, yo, you look like you're about to fight. And that's another thing. I'm like 6'2" with a beard, like he wants to murder someone. And I'm like, no, I'm just playing a song in my head. I'm listening to a new Justin Bieber song.
Kids will make you angry though. Being a parent is both simultaneously the best and the worst thing. I'm genuinely like a very calm guy from the outside.
You are very calm.
There are times, and my wife will vouch for this, when I get unnecessarily angry at my son.
Really?
It just really makes you lose your shit. Because I fucking love my son.
Yeah.
Simultaneously the best and the worst thing.
Right.
And you don't really get that until you have a kid.
Yeah, I always think about that.
I cannot convey this feeling. Like, I don't know. Like, if you and I ever got into shit and I didn't like you, I would just cancel the pod and just never talk to you again.
Right.
You can't fucking do that with your kids. I mean, you could. You could be a bad parent, then you could.
I know what you mean. You can't just be like, yo, I resign.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, you're stuck with it. You're literally stuck with it.
At least fucking 18 years.
18 years.
Oh, these days, like, you're stuck with your kids until like they're in their 20s and 30s. Differences between Eastern and Western types of parenting. Clearly, Western parenting is much more affectionate. It's much more understanding, I would say.
Yeah.
Because I don't remember my parents ever saying the words, I love you to me. But I say that shit to my son multiple times a day. Like, I genuinely say that and I mean it and I feel it in my gut.
I love you too.
I've never said it to you. Western people say they love their kids a lot. They've always shown signs of affection. But I would say stereotypically, Eastern people don't really do that. Do you ever remember your parents saying, I love you to you?
Actually, I say it a lot to my mom.
No, you say it. Do you remember your parents saying that to you as a kid?
Yeah. I
Really?
do. Yeah, my mom.
Oh, see?
Yeah.
So that's why your mom's the best.
Yeah, man. She's look, man, my dad does not deserve my mom. I'll be honest about that. You know, she's such a good woman. God bless her. She gives me like hope and faith. I was like, Dad, how did you trick her? She's an angel. She's a saint. But yeah, my mom was always about that, man. All the time.
Made sure
man.
you were loved.
You know, she was all about that. The good vibes, the love. She's super religious, but I don't see it as like a religion thing. I just see
because
like,
I think most Koreans are pretty religious.
she believes in like divinity and like there's like a higher purpose. And she always like stresses it. Do you know how hard it is just to like have a baby? Like that's a miracle. You know, I know you can attest to that. And just being a healthy kid, that's like the biggest fear. Is like, oh my God, please just be healthy.
Your dad never said I love you too as a kid?
I think he says that as a good, like sarcasm. Yeah, I love you too, man. Like, you know what he says sometimes?
What?
It's fucking hilarious. He'd be like, I'll be with him and shit, right? And maybe we'll see a neighbor. They know each other, blah, blah. So, oh, is this your son? This guy? That's my roommate. I'm like, fuck. I'm not even offended. I'm like, that's actually fucking funny. I'm like, damn.
See, props to your dad.
Yeah, such a cool dude.
The way most Asian parents say I love you is just asking, are you hungry?
Right, yes.
Trying to feed you.
Say, yes.
Like that's how they show their love and affection towards you. Making sure that your stomach's full.
That's why I'm fat.
My mom would ask me,
Yeah.
are you hungry? Did you have dinner yet? I know that's her way of telling me she loves me. And my dad,
I remember that.
same shit too. My dad doesn't talk a lot.
He doesn't.
Like
yes.
I try to now get him to proactively talk more.
Nice.
Half the stuff he says is basically, are you hungry? Did you eat yet? You should eat more.
Yo, cooking dinner every day, coming from your job, you're like, yo, I don't want to do this shit.
Yeah.
But you have to. That's wild, man.
Yeah, my parents never got takeout. Your parents rarely got takeout as a kid.
Yeah, rarely. It had to be like a special occasion.
Well, both their parents probably grew up poor.
Yes.
That was the main factor. You come home, you're fucking tired, and you still want to cook a good meal for your kids. You'll cook like a good full course meal for your kids. Yeah, I'll be real. I'm like a full-time house dad right now. Most days, I don't want to cook. To fight that urge, that lazy urge to not cook and just like make food for your kid. Shout out to all the first-gen OG Eastern parents out there who like who fed their kids, make sure that their stomachs were full and nice and warm.
Right. There was times where, you know, when we were younger and like your mom was just like, we're all in your room, and then your mom would just come in with like a tray of food, and then you're like, Mom, no, we're good. Stop feeding us. She's like, well, just have it. It's fine. It's just leave it. She'll leave it on the side.
I'm like, Mom.
Yeah, she'll be like, no, it's okay. I'll just leave it here. And she smiles. Okay, bye.
All the time.
All the time, dude. So I don't know. You can help me on this. Another like difference in it is like the freedom of choice. You
mean what parents let their kids do?
Right.
Yeah, that's a big difference. Eastern and Western differences.
That's like that's a balance scale, right?
That falls in line with how much control most Eastern parents want to have on their kids' life. That's that whole tiger parent mentality I was talking about.
Right.
My parents gave me a strange amount of freedom and choice. they were not always breathing down my neck as to what I should or should not be doing.
Right.
Talking with most people, first geners, their fucking lives were like really controlled. Come home by this time. All my white friends are, doing these sleepovers and shit. But
Right.
like, no, you cannot do that.
Yeah.
There was far less freedom of choice.
I couldn't even like hang out with you guys at a certain point in time, remember? I had a fucking curfew. And it was
Oh,
like,
yeah, you did. You did.
and then it would get like fucking violent. My dad would react the same way. Anytime like you did something wrong, he would act like I just murdered a baby. Like every time, but I'm like, oh, I just burned the food.
There are a lot of times as kids when I didn't get to see you just because you said your parents didn't let you go out to do X, Y, and Z.
Yeah, they thought it was
And
weird.
we weren't going out smoking weed or anything. We were like probably just
No.
like in your front lawn playing baseball and you just be in
Right.
your window looking down on us or some shit.
Unfortunately, he just didn't know. He only knew what he knew.
Because I think in some ways when you do give someone a certain level of freedom to go out there, they make their own mistakes.
Right.
They kind of learn from that.
Right.
When you keep your kids in a bubble and you control everything that they do, I think your kids don't get the chance to develop certain social traits and certain ways of learning that.
I just think that your parents were like, our son's going to be fine. He's smart enough. I really do think that too.
Like I keep saying, they had no fucking choice, right? Only child, working
Yes,
12
man.
hours, 7 days a week. One thing that I've thought about now,
Yeah.
sometimes I'll drive around and I see like, let's say, whatever you call it, a 6 to 8, 9-year-old kid, and I'll see them by themselves doing something. And my modern mentality is I look at them and I say, should that fucking kid be there by himself right now? Should he is he not with an adult? Is he not with like a teacher or something?
Right.
Looking back on when we were kids, okay, you leave for school, you go walk to school, you take the bus, you come home.
Yeah.
Take this laundry out to the laundromat, do the laundry, buy yourself lunch.
That's what I'm saying, dude.
There's like a big difference now, and this is not a Western Eastern thing, but this is like, I guess, more a modern change. We don't let our kids go out there and just do anything anymore.
Dude, we were allowed to just go to the park. We figured it out. Oh, yeah, we're going to go to the park. There was a time where we didn't have cell phones. You couldn't track us with
That's
GPS.
true. It's like even worse then, right?
Yes.
Because
Yeah, man. I would be so stressed. That's what I'm saying. I was like, I don't know how my parents I don't know how your parents did. It's like, we don't have a phone. I'll admit, I could never always like keep tracking, call them back. And I couldn't even do that, but I was just calling them like, hey, I'm here. And they're just like doing their own shit. Oh my God, I couldn't do that.
It's so laissez-faire, like that attitude.
Yeah, it's getting a little weird now.
Is that a direct result of the world itself becoming more dangerous?
Yeah.
Or is
I think
it
it's an
a
American thing.
self-fulfilling prophecy where we don't let our kids go out there to do these things by themselves, and then in turn we feed on the few stories where negative things do happen?
You know what it is, man? I think it's more of an American thing. It's an American problem. You go to like China or South Korea or whatever, right? Most of the time, just, I don't know actual evidence and data.
We have
but
zero evidence. We're just
Yeah.
it's all hearsay.
We don't have sources.
No, we're just
All right?
making shit up.
We literally have no idea. We just wrote this down.
You don't come to this podcast for
learn.
facts.
No, hell no. Please don't. For the love of God. I forgot what I was saying. Oh, now I remember.
You're trying to make up some fact.
It's, some random.
Make it sound convincing, though.
There's a study out there. Just kidding. Going back to what I was saying about it being an American problem. If you go to other countries, European countries even, it's a little safer still because there's still a big sense of community.
Okay, so like the community itself watches over your kid, even if you, the parent, are not directly there.
Because
That makes sense. That's like a small town thing, too.
there's a reason why like certain parts of New York is like predominantly certain races, right? Flushing is hella Asian. There's a familiarity. There's a reason why our parents probably, I asked them like, would you ever think about moving? They're like, no, we like it here.
Yeah.
Oh, we know the neighbors. They're Korean. I could buy kimchi at the, H Mart, and that's really vital and important. A world within a world.
In America, before, it was the same thing. Let your kids go out there, ride their bikes until dark, come back home. But
Right, yeah.
nowadays, it's just your kid goes out there, he rides a bike, he has like an escort of 5 parents, and he's wearing 2 helmets and 3 elbow pads. Like this kid is like getting ready. What's that thing where medieval times where 2 people would sit on a horse?
jousting?
Yeah, joust. It's like they're getting ready to go jousting and they're just riding their tricycle around the block.
Times have changed, man.
Yeah, Asian parents have never been overprotective with their kids. Yo, let's just be real. Because I don't ever remember my parents being worried about my physical health.
You all right?
Lost an arm? But your brain's still there. You're still good, right?
See?
It's your non-dominant arm, right?
Right.
So you can still write those essays.
It's like, oh, that's why God gave you 2. So now you have another backup. But that's what I'm saying. See, your parents would handle that with like, okay, let's assess it. It'll be okay. My dad, like I said, holy shit, sound the alarms. We're under attack.
Well, technically, if you lost an arm, your dad would praise you because you lost some weight.
Oh, man. Yeah. When I broke my leg, Bro, I was like miserable. I'm depressed.
You got real fat that summer.
I was fat as fuck. I did get fatter. So I break my leg. I'm in Flushing Hospital, right? I reach my parents. I tell them what happened, right? My dad was just like fucking pissed. My God, you what? I was like, oh, I think I broke my leg. He's like, God damn, you know why? It's because you're too goddamn fat. And I was like,
he immediately
bro,
latches onto your weight as
Jesus
an issue
Christ,
for why
yeah.
you broke your
Like,
leg.
no fucking like,
No sympathy.
no, none.
Zero.
None. Oh, come on, man. Like, dude, he just didn't know when to like, chill. And when he got to the fucking hospital, he's just like, he's doing that Korean like, God damn it. Like,
he's about to go into like a
tangent, his own fucking tangent and shit. Shout out to Korea, but yo, we gotta just chill, bro. Like, let's relax, guys. Woosah, man. Yeah, everything we talked about. Is it fair to say, do you think that, the Asian, parenting style is the best way? Would you recommend it?
non-biased opinion?
Yeah, like,
traditionally?
86% of users recommend this. Yeah.
99% on Rotten Tomatoes, Asian parenting style.
Yeah, there you go.
Maybe not the OG parenting style,
Okay.
but like there is definitely a hybrid model.
The hybrid model. I like that. Prius.
The Prius, the Tesla of Asian parenting styles. That makes more sense. That's more eco-friendly. I don't think you can have your kid and really be so violent with them. You cannot discipline your kids in that manner. Number one, society itself treats it as a
challenge accepted. I'll show you. But I agree, man.
It's a very fine line between violence and disciplining. You always want to steer on the side of caution.
Do you remember that our running back, Adrian Peterson?
Yeah, of course.
Then he had that thing
Vikings.
where he got in a lot of trouble because he disciplined his son. I think he whooped his butt with a belt.
Whipped his kid with the belt.
Did he openly just admit that? Or did the wife maybe snitch him out?
Say something, or maybe like he just said it secondhand.
Yeah, like, oh, it's no big deal.
Yeah.
The belt. Yo, imagine your dad's Adrian Peterson. He's fucking strong.
Yeah.
Like, he's used to fucking face palming like big ass dudes and shit.
Plus, he's rich, so whatever belt he's using is like it is genuine leather. It's like Gucci
studded,
genuine
it's like studded and shit. God.
diamond studded.
Yeah.
I mean,
to a certain degree.
I don't think you can apply that now. The Asian parenting style, I would say, is 90% based on the fact that you need to instill fear into your kids.
Right.
Fear, structure, and
discipline
into them. The traditional Asian style, it's a dying breed.
It's got to evolve. I know what we're saying is it is taboo. It's hard, and people that definitely experience a lot of things that we just discussed.
Yeah. And I just want to say that I would personally never hit my kid.
I'm going to install like a fucking heavy bag. I'm going to put like a picture of my son on it. And be like, that would be you. That's going to be you. All right? You want that? No, right? All right, good.
You need to put that punching bag directly next to his Legos so that he's constantly reminded about the fact that it can happen.
Like, that's you. You want to see it? No, right? All right. Thought so. Can I ask you also too, like, because I feel like with parents now, it's like they have to put up a front because of their kid.
What do you mean?
You can tell when that kid sucks. He's just
it's like a brat.
Bully. He's fucking annoying, right? But like the parents like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, George is fine.
Yeah.
He's like an angel.
Yeah. Oh, it's your kid.
I think all parents think that their kids are okay. Either they're in denial sometimes or whatever. I think all parents probably look at the kids and know that there is something flawed with their kid, but they accept it and they think it's acceptable for other people to accept it. I do not think other people need to accept your kid's shitty behavior. I think as a parent, when your kid is being an a-hole,
I agree.
Number one, you're the only one that should be telling your son, your daughter what
you're obligated,
But lots of parents don't do that. I try to steer on the side of caution. Like, if my son is being bad with somebody else, I try to be extra sensitive to the fact that my kid is being an asshole. Unless he's with his cousins, it's okay because that's family.
Right.
Number one, I don't want someone else to tell my kid what to do. Number two, I'm trying to be respectful of that kid.
Do you think it's really important for you having a kid to have another family, a friend that has a kid too?
Socially speaking, because of fucking COVID these days, my kid has spent half of his life at this point in COVID-related restrictions. And I think that's not doing a good job for his social skills and his development.
That's true.
It is important for him to play with other kids. If you're the other kid and you're an asshole, please deal with your kid.
That's all we ask, right? That's all we ask.
This is off tangent, but how many kids do you want to have?
Oh, yeah, I already thought about 2.
That's assuming that you don't have any kids secretly sprinkled around anywhere.
Please give a shout out or send us, any information about my my children. All right.
Ranting and raving.
Yes.
Ben, I know the best that you can read is 3-sentence posts on IG or TikTok.
Give me 15 minutes, yeah. I can do it.
And then you can recollect maybe 20% of those 3 sentences.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to take pictures.
If you're going to read a book ever in the future, I just finished a book called Crying in H Mart by Michelle Zauner.
Uh-huh.
I think I mentioned to
You
you
did
this
mention
recently.
this,
Have you
yes.
been seeing this book being thrown around?
I'm gonna lie to you and say yes. But please, go on. Please.
Crying in H Mart by Michelle Zauner. It's
all over the news.
I know that you don't read, and I'm speaking into the abyss right now when I try to recommend
I was
something
like,
to
at
you.
this point, it's really for the
I'm
listeners.
just screaming into the void, but I think for our listeners out there, if you haven't read this book, Crying in H Mart, you should give it a look. You should give it a read. You should give it a listen if you're into audiobooks and stuff like that. It's on audible.com.
Oh, okay.
But anyways, the book is about a Korean
I was
American.
confused about that too. Sorry.
The book is about a Korean American, half white, half Korean. Through the death of her mother, she explores how to reconnect with her Korean heritage
Oh,
and through Korean
Right.
food. It's a very emotional book.
right. That sounds
If
very
you have
heavy.
emotions.
That is. If you need emotions, go read this book.
Maybe. Even I, a guy with very little emotions, got very emotional listening to this
wow.
book. The book made me simultaneously very sad and very hungry. And shout out to Michelle. Apparently, one part of the book she mentions going to the H Mart that's here in Flushing, Queens, New York on Parsons Boulevard.
So we should go there and be like, look, we're at the spot. This is it.
Yeah, read the book and I'll take you there.
Damn, I'm getting sad. Just when you explain, I was like, oh my god, that's so sad.
Not for real.
Yeah, it's very somber.
Like, I know you just chit-chatting, giving me shit, but you
No,
should go
now
read
I'm
this
like,
book.
Yeah, now I'm like, oh shit, I think I need to.
I'm getting very worked up
You
about
are.
this right now.
This is a rat.
Read this fucking book, Ben.
For the love of God, guys, I have to read this book. My life is on the line here. Not as fucking. That was like fucking beautiful what you said there, man. I don't have that, but it's very passionate. You know, it gets my blood boiling. I don't know why I notice these things. Oh man, this is such a weenie one. You know, I walk my dog. You have to pick up after her. And most of the time, everyone has like these little plastic bags.
Mm-hmm. I'm
noticing someone is picking up their dog shit, tying the bag, and just throwing it back on the floor. And I see it.
They're throwing it back in the same spot the dog took a shit.
I think, or they're just fucking hurling it, like yo, sayonara or some shit. And you have no idea or seen this.
I used to work at a dog shop when I was younger.
No, I know, but I'm saying, did you see this fucking this crime?
You mean this trending?
Fucking yeah.
No, I haven't.
Okay, by the way, I doubt it's fucking trending. Like it's not an epidemic right now. But I'm just noticing it.
That is
Sometimes.
so half-assed because you went through the effort of bringing your doggy poop bag,
Thank you.
bagging up the shit,
Yeah,
and just putting it right back down.
bro. I'm like, there's a person that exists, and like that makes sense. Or they're just evil, like a weirdly evil person.
Maybe that person thinks that they're doing such good work, but you could just taking that shit home with you because you're walking your dog. So presumably you're
Right.
gonna walk back home.
We're gonna get a headache just trying to figure this out, bro. It's like the weirdest mystery crime. But yeah, that's my non-poignant rant there. If you're gonna pick up your dog shit, please just throw it away, or just don't. I don't know. Go get help. I don't know what to say.
Okay, guys, that does it for this week. Remember, www.worstasianpod.com. If you're not following us on social media and you're just listening to the podcast, well, what are you doing?
Oh yeah,
What are you doing?
We gotcha.
Follow us. We're on IG, Twitter, we're on TikTok, we're on Facebook at the handle Worst Asian Pod. Also go to worstasianpod.com. There'll be links there. Just click on the link. It'll take you right to us.
Ooh, yeah, man.
If you can, leave us a review.
5 stars.
Positive feedback.
Positive.
Keep the constructive criticism to yourself. We don't want that shit here.
Yes. And thank you for all those parents out there. Hopefully some parents listen to this and they could be, oh, I get it. Yeah, me too.
Great
Hopefully.
parenting advice.
There you go.
Stay tuned. Next week, we'll be back with another topic. Once again, we have no fucking idea. It's all very last minute.
Thank you for sticking it out.
Stay tuned. Be excited. We'll see you next week.
God bless you.